with the config file because I think this is just a place to start. So this config file, why we created this config file is just basically that what I listed here, right? So this config file helps us to structure our code, right? Our types. It gives us a type and a value structure, right? Instead of maybe all this raw string that maybe you want to be using everywhere and be repeating yourself everywhere, right? And it also helps us to load the environment, right? The environment variable. That's what it does. So basically, this is a structure that we actually created. I don't know how to make the video not to be long actually, or I will try not to. So this is just we created a struct field with the types, with a string actually, and this is a method. And so this our signature here is just saying is returning a result. So this result will be either this, right? Will be a construction of this config file or an anyhow error, right? And basically what this is just saying is just that, so see, hello guys. I'm just saying to, just telling this code, load the environment variable, right? If everything goes perfectly fine, I'm good with it. But if you didn't see anything, if you weren't able to load this environment variable, I'm still good with it. You can continue, right? That's what this thing is just doing. And so this is our database, right? And this is trying to read our database variable, right? Which we stored in our .env file, right? So what this is basically doing, and maybe I should take my time and explain this. Maybe subsequent videos I might not start to, I'll be rushing. So now, subsequently, what this means is that this is returning this on its own is returning this. So it's either it's returning an error message or a value, so or a value for us, right? A string. Either it returns a string for us or it returns an error message. That's what it does. But now we use map here to actually convert this error message to a better readable message. So let me explain what I mean. So this on its own, without this map underscore error. This will return an error that panics. And you can use actually you can use dot context to also help write a better um, error message. But I shall prefer to use this one, right? And yeah, so what this is actually a closure that is telling the compiler, telling us that okay, I've received your error. So assuming that there was no value found in this our environment variable. So for example, this went to our environment variable and didn't find any value there, right? It should return an error. So this is saying that okay, I've received your error, but I'm not going to use your error, right? And this converts the error into something readable, right? So telling the user that okay, your database URL is missing, I think it's much more readable than just not maybe giving a panic or just saying something random, right? And what this thing is saying is that if the error exists, do an early return, right? Do an early return, and if there was a value found, just extract the string and continue. Now this one on its own is returning also a string, right? So what this is saying is just that go to our environment variable also and read this variable and find the value of this key. So assuming this variable doesn't have any key, right? We are using this unwrap. So this unwrap is helping us to create it is helping us to create a default value for this thing, right? So this is still saying the same thing. So I've read your message, but I'm not using it. So I want to use a default message. So and the default message just saying is to insert a value to this work ID, right? And now at the end of the day, these two these two variables are returning strings, right? So this is returning either a string or an error, Why this is returning only strings at the end of the day, right? Because I mean, it's production ready, production advice. It's any word like that. I mean, it's not really a good practice actually to um default your DB, right? Your DB URL here is not really a good practice. I mean, you can still do the same thing we did here to display, but it's not really a good practice actually at the end of the day. So what this is just doing just is wrapping our whole construct in OK and returning to the caller. That's just basically what this thing is. It's just